Hey everybody, welcome back to 2BeLikeChrist. We're talking about the top 100 religious Christian questions. Today it's number 8, what is evolution? If you took 8th grade biology anytime in the last 20 years, you probably received a quick education on evolution. Evolution has a lot of different definitions, but maybe the simplest is the best: a process of change. The term evolution is general and it can be used in a lot of different contexts, but what we want to focus on specifically is the scientific theory of evolution. The theory of evolution is a scientific theory that attempts to explain the existence of life on the earth as we see it today. And it's important to note, because it's often confused, that this theory does not attempt to explain how life began on earth, only how it diversified once it existed. Who came up with the theory of evolution? Well, there was a guy named Charles Darwin. He was an English naturalist and biologist, and he's credited with coming up with the theory, and he talks about it at length in his book published in 1859, The Origin of Species. Let's talk about some of the details of the theory, at least what we can cover in 2 minutes. It suggests that all unique species of life are descendants from one common ancestor, and the species gradually change over time by a process of natural selection and genetic variation, including genetic mutation. According to the theory, genetic variation drives small changes within a species, some detrimental, some beneficial. And natural selection favors those whose genetics are well suited to survive in their environment. And if given enough time, these small changes add up, creating new species and higher complexity of life. Evolution suggests that this has been going on for millions, if not billions of years, the process repeating itself, which has brought about the complexity of life that we see in the world today. As you could probably tell from the name, this is a Christian channel, and so we want to talk about, what does the Bible have to say about evolution? Well, nothing specifically. But more than remaining silent on the issue, the Bible actually supports a narrative about the existence of life and the development of life that directly contradicts the theory of evolution. While evolution implies that the world that we know is a product of chance and natural processes, the Bible teaches something very different, and that is that the world and the life contained in it was created with a purpose and by intentional design. The Genesis narrative of creation states that all men and animals were created as unique species and in full mature complexity. And although there have been people who have attempted to weave together the creation account and the theory of evolution into one unified theory, no believable harmony has ever been achieved. If you're familiar with this channel, you may be able to guess that I'm not an evolutionist. My academic credentials are not in the sciences, but I have dedicated a significant amount of time and reading and research to this question, including reading a lot of literature from world-renowned evolutionary biologists. And the reason for that is because this is an important question. This is a question that really challenges whether or not faith in God and in the Bible is even reasonable. I think that it is reasonable, and not just on blind faith, but on putting in the research to figure out some facts. You're probably going to hear or have heard that any reasonable scientist is going to be an evolutionist. And if you do a little bit more research on that question, though, you'll find that there are some very well-credentialed scientists out there who are active in the scientific community even today who reject the theory of evolution as it currently stands.